Welcome to installment number 3. I'm your host, Dewey Snacks, and this is my world through mentally ill eyes. Now, I do have to tell you that the squirrel effect is on. In other words, I am going to talk about a certain subject, but there's so many different things that we could talk about with it, but we need to stay on track. So, if I squirrel off, then I owe the squirrel jar a quarter. Now, I was asked by a friend to talk about a subject through my eyes that I feel passionate about. She said religion and made me pick a topic. So I I'd like to talk about the Bible itself. I love it. I truly do. It's one of the greatest work of art and is the greatest sold book ever. There are copies of every every form known to mankind of the Bible. Now, realizing that the Bible was actually put together by Constantine, and also the fact that it was created in order for all of the empires to form one religion. They needed a form of morality. They needed something to base the laws on. And they took stories from the tribes and the bishops surrounding, but he also took stories from stories in the past. It it's a proven fact that there were stories before the Bible of floods, of Garden of Eden. But okay, I almost got into the squirrel effect. Anyways, the Bible is one of the greatest achievements ever because it formed a religion that spans the entire world. You realize that the Vatican controls basically 2 billion people because of the Bible. Everyone understands through history. The Bible was given out to the priests at the time at all the temples. They were still trying to convert everybody to Christianity, and it took a lot. Um, the Bible, once it was written, by the way, were written in 3 different regions, but I believe they chose the one from Turkey. I'm not quite sure. But, anyways, they added different parts to make one book to control the people, the Bible. Now, whether you believe in the Bible or not, that's nobody's but your own, okay? And I'm not here to judge you. I don't judge anything about religion because to me, religion is hope, period, okay? I don't care who you worship as long as it's peaceful and understanding to others. So, when you are mentally ill, and you see these things occur, time slips. The Bible is steady and it's there. You can slip away from any religion, but the Bible and Christianity is so embedded now because of the worshiping and the spreading of peace and harmony. Downside is Christianity is the bloodiest religion ever. And one of my biggest loves is the Knights Templar. Okay, squirrel effect. Okay, damn it. I owe a quarter. I gotta write this down. I started getting into the Templars. Alright, well, that's 1/4. Anyways, back to the Bible. So, Constantine, who really never became a Christian, yeah, he figured out a way to herd everyone. So he did it, and it was bloody. But he still, what they worshipped the old gods. And he kept the temples going, even underground. They found out through archaeology, through science, that he was still worshiping the old gods, but using Christianity to guide his people to peace. A smart man, and his mother helped. She spread the gospel, the Bible, throughout Jerusalem as she was guided through and picking up pieces that she believed being what they were. But the Bible spread like wildfire. And it started spreading the morality, how people should be developed. The only people that could read the Bible at the time were the priests. People couldn't read, and if you could, it wasn't Latin, okay? Because that Bible spread so quickly that nobody really could understand it unless you were taught it at the Vatican or any of the priests or the monks. All these people were rewriting the Bible to spread to the churches. That's how fast it was going. They had nothing but churches writing, rewriting, over and over again, painting these books, all these handwritten books, until, lo and behold, Germany, Gutenberg, spread the Bible. More and more people were developing, as more and more people were getting educated, their own thinking about the Bible. The Bible was being retranslated so many different languages that I personally, through the eyes of a bipolar, depressive, schizo, crazy guy, the translations have been misread. Something is amiss. The Bible, I don't believe, is a true effect or the effect that was supposed to happen. The stories had to have been altered because the translations had to have been altered. Some of these religions, some of these civilizations, some of these different cultures didn't have proper words for what was in Latin. So they had to put their own words transcribed back into their religion, their what's what I'm looking for? See, there's another squirrel moment. I'm not going to give a quarter on a squirrel moment. Anyway, when these people are translating in their vocabulary, which is a good word, everything has been changed. So you're going through generations and generations of altering the true translation of the Bible. So we could be saying the Lord's Prayer completely wrong. Okay? it's one of those things that my mind goes through. It goes through all the little blocks that what if, what if. And I come down to what others would call a conspiracy theory, but to me, it feels real. The Bible is nothing more than something for countries, people to build law around, to build hope around. You could go to church every day and pray to the Lord. If it gives you hope and it gives you a better outlook on your day, then do it. If you want to get a bonsai tree, water it once, twice a day, clip when you need to, and just sit and stare and think about the people close to you that give you that hope feeling. Then do it. To me personally, God is everywhere. And the Bible gives you different stories about hope, about something or someone to believe in. And the Bible gives you different stories to choose a hero from. It's like Greek mythology. They have so many different heroes. It's just you are the individual that has to understand what hope is for you. And with mental health issues, your thinking process is your own. And you take your time. You don't listen to other people unless you trust them 100%, unless they know that you do have issues on processing different things. Those are the people that will understand and might give you really good advice, your gut feeling, your experiences, especially with that individual. All those things come from the morals that were taught from the Bible. It doesn't matter what religion, the Quran, same aspect. You just have bad apples that take it in different directions. Muslim, they are very peaceful, loving, peaceful people. I mean, there are bad apples in everywhere you go that are going to pronounce themselves God's warrior. And they believe that they are following the Bible. I did it. There were so many times where I thought of myself as a holy warrior because I love deep down the Knights Templar. My family, the Armstrong clan, we've got ties to Scottish noble, powerful, but we all are being guided by the morals given to us by the Bible. Laws in the beginning in the creation of the United States of America, you say separation church and state, and I understand that, but it all began with the morals of the Bible, the church. The Vatican, for the longest time, controlled so much. They are a city in themselves and are what, the 13th wealthiest in the world? I'm not sure. But here we go with the things that are taught to us. We go to Sunday school, we go to church, we listen. Our pastor is giving us great advice. And you listen and you feel it. You do. If you're bipolar and you have different arranging thought patterns, when you're sitting in that church and you feel holy, you feel that hope, and it feels so good. I love it. Those are the times where I feel like I could be a warrior of God. And everybody has their own issues dealing with mental, but if you can feel that hope when you go in a church and you get addicted to it, it takes over. And the Bible has so many different stories. Now, I am for one going to be honest, I have a dumbed down version of the Bible where it basically bypasses the heareth and noweth and all that stuff, where it basically gets down to the just of the sentence. What does it mean? And to me, all I want to know is truth. The Bible has so many stories, and now you can dissect them, read them the way you feel like you want to. There are people out there that have actually said that the Bible has stories of E.T., alien encounters. I don't know. I just like the stories. The Bible gives you a lot of hope in morality. It's a great guideline. I personally like the book of Enoch, but it was not put in the Bible. And there are other stories that were not put in the Bible that are significant from significant individuals of that religion. The scrolls and the books. And there are so many stories in the Bible that can be countered through science, but that's a whole different ballgame. But all in all, the Bible has a lot of meaning and a lot of significance through a therapeutic method. Sometimes when I feel a trigger, I'll put on a television documentary about the Bible or about a biblical form. Something that I can think about and my mind can, process another form of hope from that particular religion. I mean, a lot of these documentaries, don't get me wrong, are in different points of view. But the statements that they give you a different thinking process of the Bible. You, as an individual, need to find what makes you feel hope. And it doesn't matter what religion it is. What matters is it's important to you. You don't need to go out and spread it. You don't need to tell anybody you're doing anything with it. That's you. Okay? But don't be not you and keep adding Legos to your situation. If you feel like the Bible is worthless to you and you want to discover your own path, you will get blocks because it's morally wrong. But if you bypass those blocks and you find and understand people and surround yourself with the people who want to help you be you, then that's when you go forward. And you go forward with all your guts. Don't stop until you find out who you need to be before you go out and spread who you are. Show yourself. Morals are big, and our morals came from the Bible. Written so long ago with so many questions that are still trying to be answered. There's a lot of different stories, conspiracy theories, documentaries. A lot of them are centered around the different opinions about one book. And it's fascinating as you see this. My mind, with my mental illness, my mind directs it into what is it that I can do. 1 minute I want to be a monk. 1 minute I want to be a priest. 1 minute I want to be St. Paul. 1 minute I want to be Judas, go back and change what happened. Just to see. I wanted to go back and be one of the guards to chop down Jesus. You know, there are so many directions that your mind will take you as long as you're watching something peaceful and that gives you hope. Because your mind is looking for that. A lot of times we train our minds to look for the bad, right quick, judgment. What do you see? Boom, right there. You can't do that. I don't judge or see anybody until I say, hi, my name is Drew. How are you? That's how you know. You don't look at somebody when they walk into your house and automatically see somebody, oh no, what do I do? Do I hide something? What's going on? You don't do that, man. So when you're mentally watching a program that gives you hope, it'll trigger your mind to go after the good, to look at the hope. There is peace out there. You just have to find it in your mind and let the rest of yourself guide yourself to it. You have to train your mind, yourself, and you have to figure out a way to do it in a peaceful, loving manner. And with all the religions, there are good and bad. You can't deny that. You see it every day. Thanks to the news, we know who's good and who's bad. We need to help the good. We need to bring out the good. And a lot of times people will argue this, but the Bible, written so long ago, has been a guide for a long time. So it's hard to adjust away from it. But there are times we need to. Like, for instance, same-sex marriage. who cares who the hell you marry? As long as you're happy. All right, I've been married twice. Okay, I was happy. Why the hell can't anybody else? I don't care what body parts got who. It doesn't matter. Anyways, sorry. That was a squirrel. It was. That was a squirrel effect. That's a quarter. All right. Sorry about that. Anyways, back at the ranch. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to end it with this. If you need guidance and you're afraid to ask, delve into something spiritual that gives you hope, that will help guide you to ask the right person. You have to ask, and you have to be around people who know. They have to understand. You cannot do this alone. No one can. I made a lot of mistakes trying. And I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the law, I would have probably be dead. So here's out to you guys. Doobie Snacks out. Peace out.